boy Sprite Crazy. Hey, we're back. Number one crazy show in the world, man. Bro, what's good with you? I caught you. You caught me slipping.
You caught me slipping. I was talking about the eggs and bacon I had earlier. It was, I didn't want to offend our guest, so I had to turn my head. But
we gotta start talking about what broken we eat.
I listen. Food is life.
Yes,
Food is absolutely life. Without it, I don't have any motivation to live. So we got Marcus Hill in the studio today. Marcus, the appraiser, the realtor guru, like young guy who made his way in the business. But you got some other things going on too. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you got another business. Let's talk about that.
Sure. So I'm the CEO of this company called KITF LLC, which stands for Come On.
CEO.
It's called stands for Keeping It in the Family. And so this business,
Let's
yes.
go.
Yeah.
So, if you're not aware, there's a big wealth transfer happening right now. A lot of our baby boomers are, passing on and leaving wealth to their loved ones, right?
Yes.
But a lot of people don't know what to do when they get inherited property. Or they're living in property thinking that living in grandma's house that that's gonna be theirs once it's done, but you gotta know who on the deed, right?
Oh wow.
And so in our communities, we need to be more educated on how to keep property, how to keep land, how to pass it on down to our loved ones, so we can keep that wealth in the family. And so that's what KITF LLC does. We travel around the country. I do this with a real estate attorney, and we give families information on real estate and the legal side of things of how to keep the wealth in the family. I'm actually headed to Chicago on Sunday.
Okay.
We're doing a big event on the south side of Chicago, May 1st, and it's going to be crazy. It's going to be even crazier because that's where my late father, lived. And so he passed about a year ago. And so I'm actually going to be doing a community event in the community that he grew up in. And so it's going to be
That's nice.
great. But, like I said, a lot of people are losing property, losing land, and you should not lose things all over just paperwork.
Was it a specific situation that happened that made you really want to start this?
Actually, I'll just kind of keep it real. I had a family member, actually my father. My father, I came to find out as an older person that he lost a property due to lack of education.
Oh wow.
And so this is a personal matter for me.
This
And
is
so
Personal.
we have a goal to reach over 1 million families to kind of help people understand how to pass down your wealth to your loved ones, how to keep the wealth in the family, what to do to a land, what to do if you got a title issue, what documents you need. I'm gonna give y'all some game on the air right now. If you don't have if you don't know about an Arkansas transfer on death deed, you can literally fill that out and buy and put the person that you want to get the land or real estate, and you can bypass probate just by having this filled out. And so a lot of our families don't know these things exist.
No. Man, I know.
Ooh, free game.
Super free game.
Yeah.
My homie Scooby, I definitely tap you in with him. He just had a passing, and she left behind a bunch of stuff, and they don't really know
What to do with it? Yeah.
And you got, if people pass on without a will or trust or anything like that, the state got plans for you. So that's why we exist. We want people to get educated so we can keep the wealth in the family, keep the land, keep the things that people work so hard to give us and for us to benefit from. And so it's been great. We hosted our first conference this past September in Fort Worth, Texas. We brought in we had about 80 people show up, and we had banks and other organizations to sponsor our conference, and everybody that came there got educated from the funeral home to building. Banks were there for home buyings, and everybody that came got a free will.
Did they get food?
They did too.
So let me ask you this, man. Because I see you very advocate for young black men, black. Um, let's talk about the struggles of being black and doing it. What was it difficult, or did you have a lot of help?
Sure, the appraisal field is typically uh, it's not diverse, and
Right.
so I think when I came to properties back then, I was 26, looking like I'm 19,
Right.
knocking on people's doors and them kind of being shocked to see me, you know?
Right.
And so, but I think with anything, if that's your passion, if you know your stuff, nobody can tell you nothing, you know?
That's
And
really
so,
great.
and so it was just definitely, it's been a journey, but I'll tell you this too. In 2012, I got recruited by this company called Fannie Mae. Fannie Mae run real estate in America.
Okay.
And so I was able to enter into that company as a valuation analyst, and I've been one of the few in America to value a residential property in every single state.
Wow.
They even approved a chapter in my book called A Date with Fannie Mae, and so I just love talking about these experiences, you know, as being a young appraiser, and it's just been great to actually, you know, show that this is a viable career.
Yes.
Most people don't talk about this profession.
Yeah,
Not at all.
that's true.
Not at all, man.
I'm learning a lot just by, hearing what you're saying today.
Let's talk about one of your race experiences as an appraiser.
Like, what gave you that? This is what I want to do.
Oh,
Like
really?
this win, this big win.
And to tag on to that, is it like a competition thing? Like, you know, one of the greatest experiences I was feel like it's beating somebody and doing something right. Like, that's one of, if I win, that's dope. But say if there's a house that's out there, are appraisers like, oh, that's mine, let me get it. How do you bid to be the appraiser of the spot?
Yeah, so basically, the bank or appraisal management company
Oh, okay.
orders the appraisal from the appraiser.
Gotcha.
So basically, all you have to do is get the license and get signed up on the appraisal management company, and then it's round robin.
Good.
And then get with some attorneys, probate attorneys, divorce attorneys. They need appraisers all the time.
They need them all the time.
Really?
Oh, so it's just like, all right, you get the license, you network, you get into certain places, you're good. You gotta, oh, man, that's,
And they need you to
Okay,
close the deal.
I got a question. What are qualities that make someone a good candidate to be a good appraiser?
Ooh.
Like, could I be an appraiser with bad breath?
You know, so people that's good at investigating, you're curious,
Oh,
right?
I'm there.
You know, because
I know how to
every property
investigate.
is different. No property is the same. And so, and basically, you're for the public. So if you want to serve the public, the public is counting on you to give the right value so they won't be over underwater their mortgage day one. And then the bank is dependent on you because they don't want to lend more than what the property is actually worth. So you are a person that is serving the public and you're helping out in one of the biggest things anybody's gonna ever do, buy a house.
yeah.
So what happens if you get the appraiser wrong? Have you ever gotten it wrong?
Well, you are the person that put the value in the property, so you're never wrong.
Oh,
Because you
perfect.
are putting the value on there and
Right.
you have taken this property, all the details of it, you're analyzing the market, and you are coming up with the value. So
Right.
the appraiser has no dog in the fight. They don't care if the deal closed or not. You just ask them for that value, and that's what you did for them.
And that's what you get.
Okay.
So you get in, you get your job done, and you're done. You wash your hands of the whole situation. Whether it's selling, oh man, that's dope. That's actually a really cool job.
Actually.
That actually is a really, you look at dope houses all the time. And as far as like valuing a house and getting the actual value, what are some steps that you take as far as like before you give someone the price? Of course, you go out and you look at things, but as far as like peeping the game around town, like prices on house, how do you do that?
Yeah, so basically, once you go to the property, you're gathering these details that you're going to put in a report. You're going to get the size of the house, the condition of the property. You're taking all these things that you're doing on the inspection and putting it in a report, and then you're analyzing the market for sales in the neighborhood. And so basically, you're being an analyst, you're analytical, you're trying to gather all these things to figure out where the value is going to be. And so once you get all the sales that you're going to compare this house that you've appraised, then you're going to reconcile that data and figure out where the value is.
Man, that's crazy. That is crazy. What's the lowest that you appraised the house?
Oh, that,
That's a good question.
it's different properties. I can't really remember the
Because
lowest,
you're laughing talking
but
about this right
but
now.
honestly, you know, over my years, I've looked at properties that are in totally bad shape, right?
Yes.
And so
Yeah, that's
it's
what
not
we want to hear
it's
about.
not it's not inhabitable. You can't live in
Can't
it.
do nothing with it.
You know,
right?
sometimes that the property condition be so bad, basically the land is the value, right?
Right.
And so yeah, so I've done different things like that over my years.
Right.
And so you
What's
could
the lowest one?
you can have like a property that's been demolished, but the land is worth maybe 5,000-10,000. So
Yeah, and then you do it like the
yeah.
5,000-10,000. Oh man.
Okay.
Very interesting.
We are learning.
Okay. So more just speaking on learning, right? You know, book where people can read and learn.
Oh,
He wrote a
absolutely.
book.
So it was about 3 years ago is when, so I've been in the field roughly 20 years. And so, but only 3 years ago, 4 years ago, is when I first saw the statistics of the appraisal profession it was a study done by the Appraisal Institute in 2019. And so it showed less than 1% under the age of 25. And then it showed about 1.9% or 1.3%, some very low, under 2% African Americans out of 80,000 appraisers in the US. And so it dawned on me of my, career, and I was like, you know what? I gotta share my story. I gotta tell people of my experience getting into this field that you don't really see any young people in.
Right.
And so basically in this book, it's on my personal story. Like I'm literally, the first chapter is my time being a student athlete at Fayetteville
Gotcha.
and kind of talking through that of like, the first time you're out on your own, you got to make decisions for yourself because ain't nobody tell you can go to class and do all these things. And so I literally take the reader from my personal journey of going to the U of A, um, and getting into real estate appraisals at 24. All these stories about 2000 I can give y'all one if y'all want.
Do it.
Yeah. So, but then my time with Fannie Mae, and then at the second part of the book, it's just all chapters about real estate investing, how to buy a house, how to be a landlord, how to become an appraiser. And I end the book with a chapter called "A Letter to My Younger Self" because
Oh.
I grew up in a time in Little Rock where it was, Banging in Little Rock on HBO, right? Y'all remember that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, a lot of people saw that on TV and everything, but I was actually living it every day.
That's the documentary.
Yes. Yeah, and so I was living it every day, and so
By HBO, right?
absolutely. And so then that last chapter, I just kind of remind my younger self to, not join the gang, not sell drugs, not do all these things that everybody's doing because now you get to travel around the country and tell people about what you've done in your life and giving more inspiration to our young people about real estate. And so it's just been a joy to kind of put pen to paper this particular kind of book because you don't really see a lot of people, young people in this field, write about an appraisal life.
No, not at all, man.
Yeah. So essentially, your book is an autobiography and like a self-help book.
Yeah, I got you both in it.
Yeah.
But where can people find your book?
Yeah, so the book is on Amazon, Walmart.com,
What's it called again?
Barnes and Noble. The book is called Assessing My Value:
Okay.
Thoughts from a Trailblazer in the Real Estate Industry. And I do got a second book I'm releasing this year.
Guys, this guy is
Coming up with the
busy.
things,
No, I like it.
Yeah, and so I'll just kind of throw it out there. I've written a children's book,
Oh.
and it's called Caden Learns Appraising.
Oh, that's
And
adorable.
so I'm introducing the appraisal field to a younger generation so there could be more younger people kind of hear these terms,
Yeah.
understand why banks need appraisers, what you're doing at property inspections. So yeah, I do have a second book coming out this year.
Awesome.
All right. Okay. So we're gonna wrap this up. But I want you to tell people where they can find you at.
And about your book signing.
Yeah, about your book signing. And what if you for somebody who's listening right now who don't first time hearing you, leave them with something. Tell them something.
Absolutely. So I'm going to be coming back to Fayetteville May 5th through May 10th. I have a book signing at First National Bank from 5 to 8 p.m. And then on Thursday, I'm going to be at Cousins. I'm doing a happy hour meet and greet there. And then Saturday, I'll be at the Fayetteville Public Library from 2 to 3 p.m. giving that real estate sauce. So, and then one thing I would just tell people is that don't think you're too young or old to get into real estate. You know, there are multiple things in there. The main ones are becoming a realtor, appraiser, or loan officer, right? And so, all these fields could be the main job or a job that you do on the side. And it's the best side hustle because everybody's gonna need a place to stay. Everybody invests into properties, right? And so it's just we got to understand the nature of these fields that's out here. And then if you contact me on LinkedIn, I'm Marcus Hill on LinkedIn. I'm Ask Marcus Hill on Instagram. I'm Marcus Hill on Facebook. If you contact me, I'm gonna get you 30% off becoming licensed in Arkansas.
30 and flirty.
Off the courses, 30% off the courses.
Almost 50%.
That's close enough.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's pretty close. You don't. Yeah, absolutely.
It could have been 10%. I was saying that. All right, man. So a lot of information today, bro.
Yes.
Now, I'm just telling you, Marcus, you probably take a co-host when she finished on. I ain't mad at it. Bro, you want to take a course? You want to try something? What you thinking?
I mean, I learned so much today. Like, I had no idea that an appraiser is like could be separate, or that it's its own job. I thought it was like entangled into being a realtor. Like, you have to do that as well. Like, it's like a person who wears many hats type thing. And I didn't realize, that there were so few people like yourself, a young Black man who is actually in the appraisal space. So I learned a lot.
Man, just going up there and wanting to share with the kids is a big thing, especially because I do it so much myself, and the impact that you won't know that you're having
Yes.
on kids. You're gonna make somebody want to do it. I would love to have this in school when I was young.
Absolutely.
Man, congratulations on everything that you're doing, bro. It's a really big thing, man, for real. For real.
Thank you for sharing your time with us today.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you.
It's been great.
Okay, man. It's a crazy show. We're gonna be back again next week. Bro, what you gonna ask me? Good night,
I got some things to ask you about the Michael Jackson movie, and all of that. We got some things to talk about.
Let's talk about it. Kids on 5.3, 13.40.
Oh, I got a message the other day.
Check. Kids 105.3 and 13 points. Your boy Spider Crazy 8. The Crazy Show. Every Saturday, man. The Crazy Show on radio. Y'all know I got my dog with me. What's good, bro?
What's good? You've been busy.
Super busy.
Okay.
I'm gonna actually agree with you today.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Wow, you never agree with me any other day, but you be doing stuff like every weekend. So how was the Blue concert?
Blue concert was really good. Went way better than I expected from SPIDA. But, Ro was talking about it, so I should have known that it was going to go crazy. Ro was talking about it. Blue, this is my second time running into Blue.
Okay.
Fort Smith is always a vibe, as you can see from Rico and Nana that was here.
I saw some of the stories.
They treated us really well.
Nice.
Well with us, so it was dope. Blue showed up fashionably late, like most rappers do. Wasn't too happy with that. Me and Darren made it happen though.
When you say late, you mean like an hour or like?
Well, it's like So he's not late because he never gives you a time of when he's gonna come.
That's a good strategy.
Yeah, so I'm not late, but
right.
I mean, it's almost 1 o'clock, bro.
So yeah, I feel it.
Chocolate late, or was he like?
NLE didn't show up at all.
I know,
oh wow!
Didn't show up at all. On a scale of didn't show up at all versus showing up on time, like most of the local rappers, what would you gauge that in between?
I would gauge it fashionably late, like I said from the beginning. It's just late. Like, I still, because I still.
When people say late and they can't see late.
Right.
Well, I get it. Well, yeah. I've been coming up with just a couple of new sayings. I don't think I'm ready for this.
Oh, okay. I think
we'll
I'm ready.
Off air,
Some new Arkansas slang unlocked.
Oh, snap.
It's the way that I'm presenting everything to people now.
Got you.
It's one way or the other. We don't do it in between. It was late. I do music. I got a show tomorrow.
Right.
What time I'm gonna be there?
On time.
4 o'clock.
I'm gonna be
20 minutes late.
before
30.
time.
Absolutely.
5 o'clock.
Yeah.
People are paying money to see me perform,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm coming to do a good job. I feel a certain type of way about it. I'm gonna be there early. He didn't do a sound check.
This is a job for people that don't know.
He got
Absolutely.
paid.
There you go.
All right, so like that we go, but all in all, people had a great time.
Awesome.
Fortunately, people like to party late anyway.
Yeah.
For my liking, no. But we'll give him a pass. Blue was cool. That morning, I didn't blame Blue for it because I had to be somewhere at 10 o'clock that morning. Got done with Blue about 3 o'clock. We was at the Rumble here in Fayetteville.
Yeah. I saw that. Yeah.
Super fun.
And you've been teaching kids. Like, you have been everywhere.
It's been crazy.
It's been crazy on the Crazy Show.
What's been going on with you?
You know what? I had a very low key weekend, but I did get a little jazzy with it. Did a word find. Oh, well.
Did you do good at it?
Yeah.
Was it?
Hey, like, don't mess with me on the word finds. But like, we want to be respectful to our guests. Who we got in the studio with us today? We got Mr. Marcus Hill. What's up? What's up, Marcus?
What's going on? What's going on? I'm happy to be here today.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about like what you do, why you're here, like what's going on with you.
Absolutely.
Who are you?
So, first off, I'm always a hawk. I went to the University of Arkansas. Yes. So this is my old stomping ground. I was here for about 5 years.
Okay.
But something happened to me when I graduated from the U of A. I was on my way to go to law school back in Little Rock. I'm from Little Rock.
Okay.
That's what I initially wanted to do.
Okay.
But I was introduced to the real estate appraisal career 1 month after graduating at the U of A. And it was a crazy, mind-blowing situation for me because I was very young.
Yeah. 24. We got to get into that. Like, that's to me, that's the highlight, right? So you were 24 years old when you got into real estate appraisal during the 2008 housing crisis. So what made you want to get into that question, especially at a young age? Because at 24, I'm not thinking about real estate.
Yeah, so it was about 2005
Okay.
when I entered in the field and I started training. And so, but when I got in there, I started just learning the aspects of like how people do appraisals, and it just took over me. I ended up not even going to law school anymore, and got super motivated, and ended up launching my own firm at 26 years old during the 2008 housing recession. But it was crazy though because
That's a big deal.
it was crazy because in 2007, that's when I got my license. And so I was just thinking like, everything is normal. But
Yeah.
when I ended up stepping off from my mentors to kind of, put on my own shingle, running my own company, that's when 2008 happened. But this is the reason why most people need to get into appraisal career, because that year, the 2008 housing recession, I had a great year.
You weren't even affected. Okay.
Not at all.
Yeah.
The thing is, most people don't know is when you do appraisals, yeah, you work for banks, right? But you need to appraisal when you get a divorce, when you remove your mortgage insurance.
Okay.
People have air property issues and just want to buy the air for a property. That's the appraisal. Some people just want to know the market value of their home. And then also there's tax appraisals, insurance appraisals. When banks foreclose on properties, they need those things appraised. And so the appraisal field is just one of those fields that everybody got to get it. Today in Northwest Arkansas, people are going to be buying and selling. Every single one of them people, if they're going to use a lending institution, they're going to have to get an appraisal.
So it is needed and it is necessary. People need to learn more about it. You just taught me some things. I had no idea you needed it for a divorce. But listen, that's another story for another day. But what I want to know is what gave you the confidence to start your own business so young? Because you're 26? You know what I'm saying? Like starting a business. So what made you want to start your own appraisal business?
Yeah, so I'm in Little Rock, and I'm going to different.
You're living in Little Rock.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm going to different networking events, opportunities. I'm, sometimes getting together with other appraiser colleagues for trainings and things. And so I come to find myself, I was like, wow, I don't see anybody my age or race
Right.
Mm.
Right.
at the
Yeah.
time of 2008,
Mhm.
doing this. And so to me, I was like, you know what? I love this. This is my passion. I want to start my own business. So I didn't just get off and just launch this business. No, I prepared for it. I learned about marketing, taxes,
Yeah.
learn about the things that help you run a business, LLCs and those things, because I knew my job of how to do appraisals, but the whole business side of things is what we got to prepare for
Yeah.
before we launch. And so that's literally what I was doing. I was reaching out to mentors, talking to them, hey, I'm thinking about starting this business. What are some things I need to consider? And so I just really did a lot of intel before I just pulled the trigger. But I'm so glad I did, because you can be good at one thing of your career, but to take it to a long term longevity aspect of of your passion, you got to learn business.
Yeah.
And so it was so really great that I had that mindset.
That's dope. I got one more question and then I'm going to pass it over to
Go ahead.
SPIDA. Who influenced you to, because you said you were on the path to being a lawyer. So was there like a particular person? Did you have a mentor that was like, you know what, maybe you should get into this, and then you got really excited about it?
Absolutely. So my cousin went to U of A,
Mm-hmm.
and he ended up being a attorney and working at the law school in Little Rock. And so I just wanted to follow his path.
Okay.
But I was introduced to the appraisal industry by a person that went to the same church I went to when I was
Okay.
younger. And so he's
Sure.
actually a graduate of the University of Arkansas as well, and a fraternity brother of mine. And so
What
it's
fraternity?
Kappa Alpha Psi.
Oh, the candy cane guys.
Yeah, so his name was Philip Thompson, and so he gave me my shot to just learn this field, and I took it, and I took it far.
Oh, okay. She with the newts now. What you got? You got some questions for
Yeah.
Mr. Marcus?
So, at what point in doing this where you realize you were good at it?
Absolutely.
Good question.
So when you're doing appraisals, there's two different parts to it. Basically, you're going out on property inspection. So you're acting like an investigator. And so once I was in the training, I'm going through the courses. Let me back up. I was going through these courses, y'all, in person, and I found myself one of the youngest and only a few people of color in these courses,
Gotcha.
which motivated me even more.
Absolutely.
But once I'm learning these things, I'm I'm actually enjoying what I'm learning. And then the other part of appraisals is going out to the property inspection. So basically, an appraiser has to measure a property. Every time they go out and do an appraisal, they have to do an interior, exterior inspection of the property. So, if they see the roof needs to be fixed, they're going to mark that, or a broken window, or then they're going to label if the property has been updated. And so these things captivated me of just kind of being good, having a good eye
Right.
with looking at properties, and it just became a big passion of mine. But what was really crazy is that I didn't know that the average age in America was 50 to 65 for appraisers,
Whoa.
and it's still that 20 years later.
Oh,
And you were definitely under that.
and just for even saying that, why? What do you think the main reason for it?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Most people don't even hear the word appraiser until they get ready and go through the home buying process. You never even hear
Okay.
about it as a career.
Okay. Yeah.
And so most people are like, okay, I got to pay for the appraisal. The realtor tells you, all right, well, you got the inspection, you got the appraisal. And most people are just like, okay, they're just paying for what they got to do.
Sure.
Right.
But the beauty of this field is that it's wide open.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody in America, if you're going through a lending institution, you got to get one. And so
Yeah.
once I saw that you're needed, I was like, I was all over this career.
It's like a thing where like so you're saying it's super job security basically. Yeah, everybody has to do it. And so with that being a thing, like it's just like a super like monopoly in it. Like it's a lot of money. You make a lot of money.
So, so, so the average appraisal fee is anywhere between $500, $600, $700
Oh.
per house.
Okay.
Just for someone to appraise it.
Yes. And it gets even bigger with commercial or larger properties. You know, maybe like a 5,000 square foot property,
Yeah.
appraiser may charge a little bit more than that just because it's going to take them a lot longer to measure that property.
Mhm.
But we are, appraisers are fee appraisers. So they literally tell the bank what they're going to charge to do what they need.
I'm learning so
You don't
much.
have to do multiple appraisals to one spot, do you?
Like, do you need a second opinion? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah. Sometimes, you know, people feel like their property value is low. You know, sometimes that's when you get a second opinion. But the appraisal is just an opinion of value. So basically, you go through training and
Wow.
all the things to give your opinion of what the bank lending institution needs. And so it's basically you getting paid to give your opinion.
Ah, that's wonderful. I think a lot of people would love to do that.
It sounds pretty easy. Does it get
It can't be easy though,
It's
right?
it's a lot of work to learn how to do everything.
Yeah.
But I learned it at 24 years old, so anybody can do it.
You were so
Oh, you're like a, you know what I mean? You're an exception, obviously, because if all the appraisers are like 50, you know what I'm saying, then you're an exception to the rule. So
Maybe they know something we don't.
maybe. So what would you? Okay, my question is, what would you say to maybe some like a college student who is interested in getting into real estate or the appraisal business? What would you say to them? What is your advice to them?
So I just was at ALPS Alps High School yesterday, and I gave the kids some game that day.
Good.
But
Hey, good job, bro.
absolutely, you know,
That's a big deal.
the kids are our future,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yeah.
And
Marcus
so,
love the kids.
come on. So I would recommend people, you know, just start out as a realtor first. It's low entry.
Okay.
You take 60 hours here in Arkansas, and that gives you the basic understanding of real estate because you got to learn things about the appraisal, things about properties, things about laws for the state. So that's kind of a low entry. But I say, yeah, once you get that, now start thinking about these other careers like appraisal because most appraisers are going to make money until they can't walk no more.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
There's no like oh you're too old to be an appraiser. I like that.
Super job security.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing. This is really good.
You don't think AI can do this?
Appraising?
So AI is, you know, taking over some things currently, and so, but AI can't go to this property, sit on that deck, and see a lake view or a mountain view because that's going to add value to a property. And so, I just think people are going to always need appraisers to come out to properties.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right. So look, check. We're gonna pay a couple bills, go to a commercial break, and we'll come back. I got more questions. Bro, we got some more questions.
We do. We got plenty.
All right. We're gonna check back in real soon, man. Kiss 1 5.3 1340.
And Marcus has actually another business